Welcome back to Lift Pass for Clash of Titans 4. We'll get into the introduction in just a moment, but all the action taking place right now. John Hack, all the way from the USA, opening us up with 320 kilos. I'm joined here by Delroy McQueen.
Oh, thank you. That looks like a pretty comfortable squat by John Hack. I know he's trained pretty well for this one. I believe he done a 370 squat in training a few weeks ago. So I should imagine he's going to take a first choice jump after that opening attempt.
John Hack was with us not too long ago. He competed here last year at Clash of Titans, and I think was surprised. I think everyone was surprised. John did well, but not as well as we've seen him perform before. But like any true champion, any true legend of the sport, he's stuck around. He's decided to make it his personal mission to put up one of his most competitive totals to date here at Clash of Titans 4.
Last year, John Hack opened a little bit heavier on the squat and he failed on depth, so he's coming this year with a slightly different approach.
Carl Weedle out next, who also hit his first 1,000 kilo total at the abs platform. He's opening today at 355 kilos, folks. That's 782 pounds.
Carl's a very impressive lifter. He actually trains at home in a shed outside, and I've seen him squat up to about 380 kilos with no spotter in a power cage. Incredible lifter.
I actually think he's one of the dark horses here today to potentially be on the podium. I think the thing that might hold him back, you may notice, folks, he is choosing to squat in his knee sleeves. Obviously, knee wraps are legal in this competition as well, but Carl has opted for the sleeves. Delroy, do you think choosing to go for sleeves will go against Carl's total today, or do you think there's a strategy here?
I think the strategy for Carl is he wants the all-time world record in sleeves, which is currently 1,060 kilos. So I think his main goal is to do that. And he probably, if someone makes a mistake, he could be right in the running to actually win this competition.
We've seen before one of the components with knee wraps can be, we saw it recently enough in previous years, 2024 abs pro potentially. Dave Richardson, there was an issue with the squat rack, and Dave had his knee sleeves on for 3 or 4 minutes before he actually got to take the attempt. And as I'm sure you're well aware, your feet start going numb, your calves start going numb. So sometimes squatting the sleeves just removes that extra stressor and allows the lifter to be ready. We just see here now Tala Sitan, I believe his name is, first time with us on the Ab Series platform. Had to wait a couple of extra seconds while the rack was ready. We're seeing it now. He wants racks in from our custom-made hybrid monolift. So this is all slowing him down. That's just more time he has to wait in those knee wraps. 365 kilos, 804 pounds.
He actually competed in the last ab competition at the Birmingham NEC. He's a very impressive bench presser, and I believe he squatted around about 400 kilos in that competition.
That's correct. He competed at abs in the USA. It's his first time with us here in Ireland. The most standard thing about him, obviously incredibly strong, but that is a very handsome moustache. You gotta respect the guy that can rock that.
From Turkey as good, 3 white lines.
Despite the weight, that's a pretty comfortable opener.
I should imagine he'll have a fair sized jump after that. I would imagine he's going to aim for that round about 900 pound range, about 410 kilos.
First of 2 Polish squatters.
Nicholas Klugovic out next, 370 kilos, 815 pounds. No stranger to the Clash of Titans platform. He's been here several times. The customary kiss to his hand, his forehead, which I think a lot of people wait for now to see. He's become a character in and of himself on the platform here, and
he put a very impressive performance in last year.
Yeah, he at last abs Clash of Titans 3, he was third with a very impressive 1,015 kilo total, which was his biggest total to date.
He's trained pretty well for this competition. I follow him on Instagram, and I think he'd go a fair amount over that, probably about another 30 kilos.
So far, Turkey has had a good lap, America has had a good lap, and Germany has had a good lap. Can Poland join the club?
Nice and patient, comfortable enough. We'll see what the referees have to say.
These guys are peaked to perfection. And they know exactly their
That's a good lift. So folks, if it's your first time tuning into a powerlifting meet, we have 3 referees, 1 in the center, 2 on the sides, and they will assess whether or not the squat is deep enough if the knees were fully locked at the top, and if the athlete follows the commands. For the squat, there is 2 commands. The squat command, once the lifter is standing upright with the bar on their shoulders, and rack, once the referees are satisfied the lifter is stood up and is holding the bar under control. So these are the things to watch out for with the referees around the
Bar
platform.
is loaded for the Abs World Champion, twice runner-up at the Clash. Can Nicholas take the title back home to South Africa?
This man needs no introduction. I'm very, very sorry, Delroy. We're both in awe of Nicholas Dupree's. I don't know what it is. Every time he steps on the platform, he just looks bigger and more muscular. Please share your thoughts as a veteran of the game yourself, Delroy. What do you think Nicholas is dealing with here today?
Nicholas looks in amazing shape. Last year, he was like so close to winning. Literally a small infringement on the deadlift. I think he's out to win today to add that belt to the
world champion.
what was it, Abs Pro belt that he won last year.
He finally took an Abs title at the Abs Pro in August 2025. It was a world-class performance. He finished on his biggest total to date, 1,065 kilos. And not only that, did he go 9 for 9, a clean sweep, a comfortable win over Zach Myers, who he'd been chasing all competition until the deadlifts where he pulled ahead. He not only did that, but then he also proposed to his then girlfriend, now fiance. So a lovely ending to a fantastic fairy tale meet for Nicholas back at Abs Pro 7. But he's got a fight ahead of him now here at Clash of Titans.
He's in for a tough battle today, but Nicholas is hungry for this one, especially after how close he come last year.
Oscar Ziolkowski. This guy has a storied career in strongman, an incredible athlete and one of the heaviest athletes in the field today. In fact, I think he may be the heaviest. 159.5 kilos he weighed in at yesterday during the weigh-ins. He's opening today at 375 kilos, 826 pounds.
If you look at the size of his legs, are unbelievable.
Oscar from Poland has left pause. Good lad, good lad.
It's a good lift. He's quite new to powerlifting. He's only competed a very small handful of times. I believe this is potentially his 4th or 5th meet. So very, very new to the sport, but a seasoned athlete in the sport of strongman. So if he's managed to dial into the powerlifting standards, I think we have a contender here in Oscar.
Very strong contender. He picks his opening attempt very well here. Quite often people come to the Abs Pro series and they'll be caught out a little bit by the standards, but he looks well prepared for them.
Next we have Justin Zottel, full throttle Zottel, one of the most intense men with the most intense glare I've ever seen, not only at the series but any powerlifting platform anywhere in the world. He was actually my firm favourite coming into the day, but I know he's carrying an injury, so we'll have to see how that affects him. He did go for the biggest squat at an Abs series his last visit to us. Now he didn't get it, but he took a good crack at it. But Jake Brennan is still the reigning all-time biggest squat at the Abs series. But we'll see if Justin Zottel takes another crack at it here today, opening at 377.5 kilos, 832 pounds.
That is a beautiful and successful.
That looks like a very comfortable opener, but normally he's a little bit more explosive than that, so you can clearly see the injuries holding him back at some sort.
So folks, all of our athletes in the Clash of Titans field have an opener on the board, which means they'll all definitely be able to jump from here with some of their decisions. Folks, this is the Clash of Titans' first time outside of the old Abs headquarters. We had the Abs Pro last year at Westside in Blanchardstown. We're back now in the Red Cow nightclub venue where we previously held Abs Pro 2024. First time the Clash will be outside of the series HQ, which is no longer with us very sadly, but this is all the evolution of the sport. The building is absolutely packed. One of the biggest crowds we've had here at the Red Cow venue here in Dublin in Ireland, where you're going to see some of the most elite lifting anywhere in the world. The field of athletes has narrowed to 7 competitors, Delroy. We initially had a full flight of 14, down to 12, down to 9, then 8, and as of today, 7. We've talked about it previously. I've spoken to Jay Farrant on lift past numerous times during our podcast sessions together, where we'll discuss the level of intensity these guys need to train at to maintain this strength. And it just seems to pick people off. You've been in the sport for an extremely long time, Delroy, well-travelled athlete in your own right and a veteran coach. What does it take to be competing against people like this who are taking 400 kilos for second attempts?
You just have to know your body very, very well, and also preparation, not hit these big heavy lifts too often to create a lot of wear and tear on the body. And you've got to bear in mind that small mistakes cost you big on these sort of weights. It don't take a lot for it to go wrong and pick up injuries.
I think you nailed it. A lot of it is just about picking your opportunities to find the right time to push these numbers, to take these attempts. And it looks like these, of all the athletes we had, are the 7 athletes that made that right decision. And we're getting treated now to a elite lineup. We're giving the athletes a couple of extra moments in between first, second and third attempts to get them as recovered as possible. Again, folks, there's some people that will go their entire powerlifting careers without touching any of those opening weights, let alone where these guys are jumping to. John Hack will be our first athlete out once again. He is jumping 30 kilos from his opening attempt to 350 kilos. He's the lightest athlete in the field, 98.7 kilos weighed in yesterday at the ceremonial weigh-ins.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
John Hack's the most experienced athlete in this field.
Volkswagen's himself, John
Absolutely nothing to prove in the world of powerlifting, but still out here, still doing it, still throwing down.
30 kilos up.
I think John Hack looks much better in this heavier body weight.
He does. He's way more filled out. His upper body, his shoulders, his traps, his quads, all look gigantic here. Very comfortable second attempt. 3 white lights from our referees, and you mentioned earlier on, Delroy, we have the most elite standard at the series. We say it oftentimes, we're not strict, we just enforce the rule book correctly. But they say it, if you can do it here, you can do it absolutely anywhere. John Hack just had a very comfortable 350 kilo second attempt. Another one of our athletes, like Carl Wheeler, who will be out in a moment, who's choosing to squat in knee sleeves. I would wonder, does a lot of this come down to John Hack's previous experience lifting in the IPF at the elite level, where he would have competed in knee sleeves? He's competing where he's most comfortable.
I think it's just due to his style of squat where he pushes his knee quite far forward. And also, you've got to bear in mind, John Hack has definitely tried wraps in training, and they just don't suit his technique. And he looks more comfortable in sleeves.
Huge reception here for Carl. He was a bit of a dark horse competitor at his last outing at Clash of Titans, where he secured his first 1,000 kilo totals. He since done that again at WRPF UK back in November of last year. So he's managed to break through that barrier and seems to want to add to that total. You mentioned he's going for the under 125 all-time record in sleeves here today.
That looks like a very comfortable squat by Carl.
385 kilos locked in with 3 white lights, 30 kilo jump from the opening attempt for Carl. No, we haven't seen any athletes struggle with anything yet, so I'd imagine we're going to continuously see these significant jumps and attempts.
I think these athletes are more prepared for the ab standard, so they're all taking different approaches to get their lifts in, rather than starting very, very heavy and putting themselves under pressure before they compete, coming at much lighter openers and taking bigger jumps between the attempts.
It's an all-star lineup, and what a day of lifting we've had here at the Red Cow venue in in Dublin City for Ab Series 25, our Division 1 and Division 2 athletes. Very impressive standard increase over the last little while for the Division 1 and 2 guys, not to mention the Pro-Am with some excellent lifting earlier on today. Our capacity crowd have been in the building since 8:30 this morning, keeping things lit, keeping it loud. Lukas Klukovic, 390 kilos for the second attempt, 20 kilos up from the opener, which moved very comfortable for him. This is 859 pounds for Big Lucas.
Whilst people all around the world tune in via Lift Pass.
Oh, comfortable descent. I don't know if you caught it from your angle, Delroy. I know you're a little bit behind one of our side referees. His heels lifted off the floor as he hit the hole.
To me, he was very, very controlled, and then for that last couple of inches, dropped a little bit too fast and dropped his shoulders forward. And then once he done that and the knees travelled forward, he just lost his position to drive out the hole. I believe he will get this on his third attempt.
I suppose at these weights, that margin for error is just so small. You really can't afford to make those small technical issues. Same weight stays on the bar now for Talis Sutana, 390 kilos, 859 pounds.
I think Talis could be a very strong contender to get on the podium. He is a phenomenal bench presser as well, which is definitely one of his advantages coming into this competition.
Folks watching at home, different to other styles of powerlifting we present here at the ABS Powerlifting Series, Clash of Titans is decided on total. So the athlete that managed to put together the best squat, bench and deadlift with the biggest total with all those three lifts combined will be the winner here today. So attempt selection is paramount. You're trying to build that number as high as possible. And I think it goes without saying, it's going to take at least 1,050 kilos to be up there, maybe more.
I would have thought so in this competition. Talis is a very interesting choice of footwear for squats. It looks like he's got the Under Armour Tri-Base CrossFit shoe on, which I personally wouldn't squat in, but it seems to work well for him.
Well, with how that 390 kilos move, I guess he's a bit different. He's just that guy.
It comes down to what suits you, not anyone else.
Nicholas Dupree's out next, the fan favourite, 400 kilos, 25 kilo jump from the second attempt, 881 pounds. There was a time in ABS Series history where 400 kilos was a mythical number that many athletes vied for, and then Jake Brennan locked it down, I believe, at ABS Series 4, all the way back in 2020, if I'm not mistaken.
It's incredible that record's actually lasted that long.
Yeah, he still holds the biggest squat in ABS Series history. I believe it's 430, maybe 432.
I think it's 435.
435. Do you know what? It's amazing to me now to be sitting here at ABS Series 25. I remember ABS Series 1. It's crazy how quickly this has grown into a competition that was held in our small powerlifting club to an internationally recognised competitive platform where we attract some of the strongest, meanest, biggest, wiliest, dastardliest athletes from all over the world.
I think Nicholas has taken a very strategic approach to his squats today. To me, it looks more on the conservative side on his squats.
Absolutely. His last showing at Clash of Titans, he missed 430 kilos as his third attempt, did take 410 on the second, so perhaps wanting to just go 3 for 3 on squats to give him the most momentum into the other disciplines later on.
All the way from South Africa.
When Nicholas unwrapped that, you may have noticed the bar was pushed forward into the monolift arms. When you do that and they pull the arms away, it almost feels like you're being pulled forward. So on his next attempt, you just need to keep the arms away, the bar away from the arms, and unwrap the bar so he's got it under more control. And I believe he'll get that weight pretty comfortably.
Yeah, it looked like when he hit the hole quite aggressively and the knees extended just that little bit early, but like you say, perhaps he was slightly out of position when he began the descent. And like we mentioned earlier on during Lucas's lift, you just don't have that margin for error at these kinds of weights, you know. You're not going to have the ability to pull back and recover position and grind it out necessarily. And frankly, these athletes are so experienced, you'd probably be better off just taking the miss, retaking, than cooking yourself this early in the competition.
These big weights punish very small mistakes.
This man is here.
400 kilos stays on the bar now for Oscar Zielkowski. 881 pounds. First time here at the series platform. New to the sport of powerlifting, but a dominant strength athlete in the world of strongman. Very interesting how he does here today. That was very smooth. Holy hell.
He's performing like an incredibly experienced lifter. I think from his strongman background, this guy knows how to compete.
Very, very smooth second for Oscar, and gives him a lot of momentum coming into the third attempts. Our final second attempt, Justin Zottel jumping from 377.5 kilos straight up to 410 kilos, 903 pounds for the Canadian destroyer.
You don't see these sort of weights going up often, especially if it's far more impressive when you see it in person. You see more detail on the flex of the bar, the strain of the lifters' faces.
Well, if you look around our spotting and loading crew, we've basically got Titans up there spotting and loading. We've Big Aim in Hartford, Lucas Rajovic, Josh Smith, all these guys, huge tolls just to keep these men safe.
Justin looks like a seriously intimidating character when he walks on the platform. 15 minutes ago in the warm-up room, he come across as one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
Absolute gentleman, sound as heck, and no noise or fella. Safe for a lot of these guys. Huge, intimidating guys, super sound. Let's see if he can lock in 410 kilos, our first 900-pound squat.
Top line! Do we see 3 white lights? No!
Oh, a very comfortable attempt, but misses on depth from the 2 side reps.
Yeah, he just cut that a little bit. I think he looks very, very cautious on the descent to me. Normally he goes down a little bit quicker and a little bit smoother.
Jack, John Hack, one more time.
So we've got a little bit of time now while they give the lifters a rapport, a little bit of a downtime between these attempts. Again, the flight has whittled down from where it was initially advertised to be all the way down to these 7 athletes.
As we speak, where we stand at the moment, folks, as we wait 2 minutes to give these athletes enough time to recover. We have done 2 squats out of 3. This will be the final squats of all these athletes' attempts, and we'll set up their total.
Folks, we'll shortly commence with Clash of Titans for 3rd attempt squats. We're moving at lightning speed. You will oftentimes see these type of competitions where athletes have hours between lifts. These guys have minutes. They are being pushed as hard as they can possibly push. The pace is electric. As I mentioned, we have an elite platform crew, some of the best referees in the game, and we've Andy the Outcasts, Andy Carney from Outcast Barbell across in Scotland, back emceeing the Ab Series once again. A little bit of trivia, he actually emceed my first ever full power meet, which was Ab Series 1. So Andy's voice is quite memorable for me. I have a great degree of nostalgia listening to him MC these competitions, and I can think of no better athlete, no better man to be here to MC the elite level lifters we have in contention for the podium here today.
Andy always creates a tremendous atmosphere when he's an MC. Definitely one of the best.
Just under 2 minutes before we commence the 3rd attempts. It's going to run as John Hack, Lucas Klukovic, Carl Weedle, Nicholas Dupreez, Talas Sitan, Oscar Zielkowski, and Justin Sokol. If I'm not mistaken, John Hack is going for a personal best on his sleeve squat here today.
Yeah, I think it's about a 7.5 kilo competition PB. I've seen John Hack squat 370 in training about 3 weeks ago.
The final squat. The man representing America.
All right, looks like we're not waiting, we're getting going. There was a countdown timer of another minute and a half. But looks like John's like, to hell with it, let's rip.
372.5 in the bar.
It's actually incredible how high John Hack holds the bar on his shoulders.
Can he make it 3 for 3?
Wow.
Oh,
2 to 1. It's a good lift for John Hack, a new personal best. It just goes to show you can keep making progress no matter what. And a high bar squat too.
John Hack shows his experience there. He actually learned a lot from his mistakes he made in abs last year and corrected them to come back with an incredible squat.
He finished out his last appearance at Clash of Titans 3 on 350 kilos. Missed his 3rd attempt of 370 kilos on depth. Just nailed 372.5 fairly comfortably with a squat bar, high bar, in sleeves as the lightest athlete in the field.
John Hack been incredibly very happy with that performance. I should imagine his goal today may be the highest dots to score ever in powerlifting.
That would be a pretty big achievement. Like, obviously, dots aren't counting for much here today in terms of the results, but just for bragging rights, I think it's a great external goal to go for outside of anything to do with podium position, and it's great to see John Hack walking the walk and standing up for the legacy he's developed over a decade of powerlifting. Lucas Klukovic looks like he's going to time out. doesn't look like he's going to retake the 390 kilo attempt.
Lucas is not taking a third. We're giving Carol every chance.
So this leaves him a fair ways behind his previous best attempt, which was done here at the Abs Clash of Titans 395 kilos. He will finish his squats at 370. Potentially a game plan. I just hope it's not an injury or anything that's going to impact the rest of his day.
There's been a few.
That may have been the reason for the fast descent. He may have felt something go on the way down.
Carl Weedle will be out shortly. He is going for a 10 kilo competition best, 400 kilos, up from 385 kilos on his second. 50 kilo jump, his all-time best is 390 kilograms.
The way 385 kilos look, I think this is well within Carl's capabilities. Carl's a very explosive lifter, and he makes everything look relatively comfortable.
All the way from Deutschland, 400 kilos on the bar.
Definitely has the respect and the enthusiasm of the audience. A fair few cameras out to record Carl's lift here. Let's see how he does. Brace on the unrack, letting the weight settle. Oh yeah!
Amazing squat.
Hell yeah, 3 white lights from Big Carl. Not a bother to him, actually potentially a bit more there, but again, you mentioned earlier on, he has a record in mind, he has a game plan. 400 kilos secured and 3 for 3 on squats is an excellent starting point for the rest of the day.
That sets him up nicely for the all-time world record on the total, and also makes him a very, very strong contender to win this title.
I honestly think Carl could be our dark horse here today.
I think so. I think he's that one. If someone makes a mistake and sort of don't get the best out of himself, he's going to take full advantage in the deadlift. He had a weakness in his grip on the deadlift, and he's trained very hard to correct that, which has shown in his training.
Nicholas Dupree's taking 400 kilos once again, and he actually is coming out for this third attempt. They obviously have gone back to the drawing board and they see what went wrong, and they're back once again to retake this weight. This is well within Nicholas's capabilities. Let's see if maybe it was a small error in the second and this is going to move like a hot knife through butter.
I think the error was definitely in the unrack. If he corrects that, this should move pretty comfortable.
Of Nicholas Dupree.
So he's pushed into the rack again, but he took the weight under more control.
A much more comfortable descent and a pretty controlled ascent. Now the question is, do you think he had a lot more there for a third had he gotten the 400 kilos on the second?
I think he had another 10 to 15 kilos. It's going to be interesting going into the deadlift at this point. Every kilo counts in the squat.
I would be curious if Nicholas will find himself in a similar position to Clash of Titans last year, where he needs a big deadlift to take the win, and hopefully the grip holds up this time if that's what it comes down to.
At this point in time, some of these failed squats is really leaving the door open for John Hatt.
Yeah.
John Hatt's very strong in the bench press, and he's a phenomenal deadlifter.
Hard for us to predict where they might go. Many of the lads haven't actually entered their opening bench or deadlifts attempts just yet, so we'll have to wait and see where things shake out once we see what the openers are. Tala out next, 400 kilos staying on the bar. So this is going to be our third 400 kilo attempt in a row, which is ludicrous to say.
Mr. Turkish Delight.
So his best in reps is 390 kilos. He took an attempt at the 400 kilo squat on Abs Series 23 across in the UK last November. Hopefully he can put it together here and take what he needs to nail the 400 kilos here as his third attempt.
Back in November, he wasn't far off the 400 kilo squat.
Witnessing this live, folks, one of the greatest powerlifters.
His second moved extremely well. I can't see him not getting it here. He's looking strong today.
400 kilos on his back. Is he going to come back up here with 3 white lights?
Wow, very impressive.
The left
from the referees. It's a good lift. He's locked in the 400 kilos he missed last November. Huge attempt. I noticed he uses more of a tempo on the way down. He controls into the hole, whereas you've seen other lifters who tend to just drop and hit those reps really hard. Delroy, obviously you've a phenomenal amount of experience. What would be the strategy around tempoing into the hole versus attacking the bottom?
It depends on one, your sort of body shape. Two, if you're an explosive lifter or not. More explosive lifters tend to be a little bit quicker on the way down. And three, some people have to go slow on the way down just to maintain body position.
All the way from Poland.
Oscar Zielkowski, 415 kilos. The biggest squat attempt we've seen so far here today. His first time with us on the series platform, first time at Clash of Titans. Veteran strongman, relatively new powerlifter, but you wouldn't know by looking at him here today.
415 kilos on the bar here. Are these the strongest legs in Poland?
Wow.
Unbelievable.
The referees have said
2 to 1, it's a good lift. Wow.
This makes the competition very interesting. Before this competition, no one would have really talked about him to win the title. Now he's actually in front of the squad and put himself in a really strong position.
It definitely leaves a lot of question marks around who's going to be in our podium. Like coming into today, like a couple of months ago, I was like, it's going to come down to Justin Zottel and Nicholas Dupree's, but the field is still wide open here after squats.
At the moment, I really can't pick a winner. Before this competition, I had my opinion on who had finished on the podium, but now, the way things are going, that's been pretty much blown out of the water.
420 kilos for full throttle Zottel. He missed the second at 410 kilos. It moved comfortably, but missed it narrowly on depth. He's obviously confident that he has the depth and he has the strength. Let's see if he can do it.
Music maestro, please.
Whoa! The referee
3 white lights.
Incredible squat.
Holy hell, he tempoed on the way down. He made it undeniable. Our biggest squat of Clash of Titans 4, Justin Zottel. Folks, we're going to get the platform ready for bench press for the Clash of Titans athletes. There'll be a small break. This is your time to go get more snacks, go to the Jacks, text everybody your predictions, make sure you're liking and sharing on social media, keeping close eye, sharing on your stories. You're listening to the voices of Iron Ian and Delroy McQueen. We'll be back very shortly.
The bench will start at 25.
Folks, you are very welcome back to Lift Past TV. You are listening to the voices of Iron Ian and Delroy McQueen. We are just under 3 minutes out for the bench press at Clash of Titans 4. Delroy, what a flight of squats we had. 7 athletes in the field, highly contended podium positions now as we get ready for the bench press. How are we shaping up?
This has turned into a very exciting competition. If you look, the lightest bench press open is 220 kilos. I don't think I've ever been to a competition where the lightest open is 220.
So as we look through the opening attempts, some interesting choices. John Hack is opening at 230, which is huge given he weighed in the lightest of all of our lifters at 98.7 kilos, so huge bench press. But the heaviest opener is Lucas Klugovic, which is no surprise, 265 kilos. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Lucas's max bench press is 272, so he's opening 7.5 kilos shy of that. So do you think that means he's full sending it now for the opener because squats didn't go to plan, or do you think secretly he's had an excellent bench prep?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think he may have just passed the last attempt squat to sort of save himself to gain something from the competition, and that's the big bench press.
So to catch up, folks, we currently have 3 400 squats all locked in, a 372.5 from John Hack, 415 from Oscar Zielkowski, and the biggest squat of the day, Justin Zottel, 420 kilos. And we're about to kick things off in just over a minute with the bench press. So similar to the squat, we're kicking it off right away. We're right in. As we get started here, each athlete will get 3 attempts on the bench press. There are 3 commands. There is start when the athlete has the bar suspended over their chest. When they lower the bar to their chest and it's at a full stop, they'll receive a press command. They have to fully successfully press the bar back up to a lockdown position. And then they will receive a rack command. 3 referees on each side. Things they'll be looking for is if the lifter's arse lifts off the bench, if the feet lift off the floor. But other than that, it'll be things like downward movement of the bar. But I think these guys are all pretty proficient bench press athletes, incredibly strong. And Carl Weedle kicking us off now with 220 kilos.
From South Africa. Just under 500 pounds here, opening in the bench.
Wow.
Very comfortable opening
bench.
Do you know, I look at this as an athlete myself, competing in powerlifting, and like, that's a weight I don't know if I trained my entire life I could hit that, you know what I mean? And he just took it for a very easy opening attempt. So it just goes to show you there are very serious levels to this. And the athletes you see in this lineup, they're not the 1%, these are the 1% of the 1%.
The lifters here are the best of the best.
The biggest scorer of the tournament so far.
Justin Zottel also opening at 220 kilos. His all-time best is 247.5 kilograms, so not too far off that right now, particularly with the jumps you'll see these guys make on the bench press. Your average athlete might make a 5, a 7.5 kilo jump. These guys are going to be jumping 10 to 20 kilos, somewhere in that range between attempts here.
He's within range of hitting the personal best bench press, so let's see how this opening attempt goes.
You see as Justin walk out, he sized up the bench, taking a look at what he's dealing with. We have the custom hybrid monolift. You won't see it anywhere else. Designed here in Ireland by TDE, Thomas Davin Equipment.
Justin looked very good on his opening attempts on the bench press.
Yeah, I don't know what injury he's talking about, but I'm yet to see it here today.
It may be something that may affect his deadlift more than the other lifts.
We'll find out as we move our way through. We got to get through all these attempts here first, and like that, it's a very narrow field here. We've had so many athletes need to leave the competition for various reasons. So we're down to 7 of the best, the guys that could come here to some degree and be competitive. Some are carrying aches and pains and niggles. Some are coming in at their absolute strongest. But again, it's not about how you felt on the way in. It's not about the prep necessarily to what you can put together on the day. We've seen it many times before. People have had pretty mediocre preps and excellent competitions, and people have had some of the best preps in their lives, and it just hasn't come together on the day.
August Valentine's Saturday night.
Nicholas Dupree's, one of the fan favourites here, the franchise lifter with the series, an incredible spokesperson and face of the AB series over recent years, opening on 230 kilos. Wow.
He made that look like an empty bar.
All-time best is 250 kilos, which he did at ABS Pro last August. Obviously, bench training's been going well if he made 230 kilos. Not well.
It looks good to hit 250 or maybe a little bit more.
Pound for pound.
Not to be outdone, John Hack also opening on 230 kilos. Hack now is a ludicrously strong bench press athlete, particularly for his smaller stature in comparison to the other Titans. All-time best is 272 kilograms.
John Hack's had a number of sort of injuries. I think mainly his pec and he had a problem with his shoulder as well last year. This prep's been a lot better in his bench press. He's done 260 in training.
That's what we're talking about now. That looks excellent. He's come in significantly heavier this time around. Last time he weighed 96.1. He actually cut into that competition for AB Series Clash of Titans 3. Today he weighs 98.7, and those 2.6 kilos can make all the difference. When you come in that bit fuller, that bit more refueled, that bit fresher, it really can't be overstated how coming in that little small bit heavier could be the difference maker for these athletes here today.
And without a doubt, 'cause he's not walking in depleted, so this is going to get the best performance out of John Hack, I believe, today. This guy is incredibly impressive on the bench press. A relatively narrow grip for a big person.
Talis Sitan's all-time best is 250 kilos, which he took at AB Series 23 back in November. He just opened 5 kilos off that easily with a close grip bench press.
He's got a lot more there left there, at least another 15 kilos minimum, I would have thought.
People all around the world are watching.
So interesting to see that, you know, like, you'll talk to athletes, as I'm sure you know yourself, coaching dozens, if hundreds of athletes over the years, maybe even thousands at this stage now, Ryan. You know, people will have particular preferences, but you usually see people opt for a little bit of a wider grip on the bench press. I don't think I've ever seen somebody close grip 245 kilos that easily before.
He's absolutely incredible. It would be interesting to know his reason why he takes that close grip.
Potentially something we might try get him in the posts meet if we can nail him down for maybe a quick interview. We'll see how we're getting on. Oskar Zielowski now 247.5 kilograms. Second biggest opener of the field.
This guy's made a big impact on this competition, especially coming out of bench press this heavy.
Many a smart man's cap. As Oscar lays on that bench, he's got one thing in his mind: to become the 2026 Clash of the Titans champion. And that opening bench suggests that he
locks it in, 3 whites.
He means business today. He's a bit of a dark horse. He's not one of the guys that people are talking about before this competition, but his impact's pretty big.
Very interesting there with Oscar's execution. You notice he had that, he was shaking a little bit as he came in the rack, tempo down to about maybe 8 inches off the chest and just let it drop. But he had all the power he needed to get it moving again.
Something to bear in mind, he comes from a strongman background, so bench press is not normally used a lot in strongman for their training. There's a lot of overhead work.
Well, it didn't slow him down here. Very strong opener. Second heaviest opener of the flight. 247.5 kilos locked in for Oskar Zielowski. And here is our second Polish athlete, Lukas Klugovic, opening on 265 kilos. 7.5 off his all-time best. Extremely fast off the chest. A little bit of slowdown at lockout.
Good luck, good luck.
Some people do that. It's very hard to predict how much he's got left in the tank after an attempt like that.
From your educated experience, what do you think is a smart play there for Lucas on a second?
It depends what he's looking to achieve from the competition. I would probably from his point take a 10-kilo jump to 275.
Right, folks, we start round 2 of
If
the
he does, that would lock him in with a 2.5 kilo personal best as well. So might be the attempt to go for it on while he's still got a bit of gas.
That's the attempt that makes sense at this point in the competition.
Folks, we'll shortly get going on the second attempt. So just giving the lifters a couple of moments to compose themselves before they get going again. It's a very small flight. More often than not, flight of powerlifting is 14 athletes. We have 7 here today, so extremely small flight, particularly for the type of weights these guys are lifting. Lucas only has a couple more seconds to give his next attempt in. We'll see if he manages to get one in, or there we go, just in the nick of time. His handers hand in the attempt. I think he had maybe 1 second left.
Dips 275 for his second attempt. Also, he's made up a lot of the ground he's lost after the squat, so he's put himself back in contention if he gets that lift in the next attempt.
We're just waiting for the stopwatch.
And it just goes to show it really all does come down to the deadlift, depending on how the rest of the attempts go here in the bench press. It's still anyone's game. I don't think there's a clear-cut winner. Definitely a couple of dark horses here with Tala, Oscar and Carl Weedle, and maybe even John Hack, like we were talking about. I don't think John Hack's out of the picture here. I know it's very easy to write him off because he's the smallest guy here, but he's having a great day.
He's having a phenomenal day. You could never write John Hack off. He's a sensational bench presser. So if he can bench press around that 265 kilo mark, he makes up all the ground that he's lost in the squat and takes himself forward to where the strongest lift, in my opinion, the deadlift.
I think it would be quite the redemption arc for John Hack if he were to manage the podium today, or even win after coming 8th at Clash of Titans last year. It would really go to show this is why he's one of the best in the game, because he goes in, he does his trial and error, he learns from what his experiences were, and he'll come back stronger than ever. I'd be very interested to see how he plays out the rest of his day.
You know John Hack's going to get the best out of himself. He's going to pick the right weights for the right time. I don't think he's going to waste a kilo on the platform today.
Well, that's what it's going to take to be the guy that pulls it off here today, especially with how some of these guys are looking. Justin Zottle's looking unstoppable. Carl Wheels putting together a great day here as well. I think he's all set for that record. This is a guy, I'll be honest, like I didn't know a whole lot about him coming into Clash of Titans last year, but over the course of that day I became a fan of him. I really respect the level of lifting he was at. His execution is basically perfect. And I think he's going to be one of these guys you'll see in years to come becomes a prominent name on the large stage, the big platforms in powerlifting.
Carl continuously improves every competition.
3 white lights, a little bit of a messy re-rack there. Looks like the spotter on Carl's right side, left on your screen, maybe didn't take the bar enough. So once the lifter receives a rack command, the spotters, I notice, can physically take the weight and help the lifter put it in, which is advised to try and save the lifter. So a little bit of a mishap there, but no big deal. Carl Weedle locks in his 237.5 kilogram. Second attempt, Justin Zottle matching that kilo for kilo here.
Every attempt in this second round of bench press is over 500 pounds.
$237.5 in the bar here.
522 pounds here for Justin Zottle. 10 kilos below his personal best.
Very comfortable lift. You may notice there, Justin's got a thumbless grip on the bench press.
He's in the zone, folks.
Very curious, you'll see that some people go thumb on, thumb off, some people opt for wrist wraps, some don't. I know a lot of it comes down to personal preference, but I definitely notice these guys with the bigger, thicker wrist, the bigger, thicker arms seem to be a lot more comfortable stabilising the bar with the thumbless grip, whereas I've seen a lot of smaller athletes depend on keeping the thumb wrapped around so the bar doesn't roll further back in their hands. 245 kilos now for Nicholas Dupreez. This is 5 kilos below his previous all-time best. So, depending on how this moves, Nicholas could be in personal best territory here today, which is a great place to be coming into bench press, ideally coming together for a nice tidy total today. Would love to claim his second Abs Series title. He's the current reigning pro champion.
A very strong attempt there for Nicholas.
The next bench press.
I think he's got a PB on, maybe 252 for his last attempt.
Will be John Hack, 550 pounds.
John Hack, 20 kilo jump from his opening attempt. He's taking 250 kilos. 550 pounds for our friends in the USA.
I think this is almost double body weight for John. Self racket on rack as well.
Extremely smooth. Tiny little bit of slowdown towards the top, but pretty damn comfortable attempt. What do you think John Hack needs for the third if he wants to stay in contention? If he wants to put himself the furthest ahead that he possibly can before deadlifts?
I would take a low-risk approach. I would probably go no more than a 5 to 10 kilo jump for his last attempt.
Looks like he's opted for the 10 kilo jump.
John Hack knows his body, he knows exactly how many kilos he's got in there. Also, you may notice when John Hack takes big jumps, I think he does that to save his CNS. If you take smaller jumps, it has a much bigger fatigue and impact on the central nervous system.
Oskar Zielkowski now a 7.5 kilo jump from his opening attempt, 255 kilos for this Polish giant of a man. Heaviest lifter, heaviest athlete in the field here today. He weighed in yesterday at 159.5 kilograms. For our friends in the States, he weighed in at 350 pounds yesterday.
He's enormous.
3 white lights, very easy.
Very strong, solid bench press.
It's a surprise given his strongman background and how proficient he is on the bench press. But again, I suppose if you're a gifted athlete, if you're a hard worker in any discipline, it's got to transfer if you know what you're doing.
Second bench press attempt here. The bar is loaded. The bar is loaded.
This is incredible then.
Now, the live stream is not doing justice to how big this guy's upper body is. This guy is twice as wide as most people in this audience right now. He is huge.
As these guys were warming up for the bench press, I walked into the warm-up room and I weighed probably about 108 to 110 kilos. And I felt small standing next to these guys. It's unbelievable how big they are.
260 kilos for a damn comfortable second attempt. That guy has triceps like most people's quads. A ludicrously big man. Interested to see what he goes for on the third. Our final second attempt, Lukas Klukovic, 275. That is 5 25 kilo plates each side. Some people work their whole powerlifting career just to deadlift this weight, let alone bench it.
100 pounds of the bench press, ladies and gentlemen. 600 heavy ass pounds. She's got a wee button too.
I would love to see this guy get this. I've become a big fan of his lifting over the last couple of years. Come on, wow.
Ladies and gentlemen of Dublin,
I think that keeps him in the race. And I honestly probably moved a little bit better than the opener.
He's got definitely a little bit more left in reserve there. I believe he's going to go for the biggest bench press ever done by a Polish athlete.
Before the final benches of the tournament.
Folks, we'll surely get going on our third attempt bench press. So far, everyone has gone 2 for 2 on bench, which makes this quite interesting. Nobody is chasing kilos, nobody's playing catch up. Everyone is just going to see how far they can reach to keep building that total again, folks. Clash of Titans is decided on biggest total, the biggest of the most successful lifts you put together from your squat, bench, and deadlift. All added up is your total. So, because everyone's already 2 for 2, this is really going to come down to how much do you want to extend and how much do you want to risk before deadlifts.
Every single kilo counts. If you look at all the squats, there's only 4 failed squats in the whole flight, which when you see people lifting weights this big, it's very, very rare.
7 benches. They're going to have a massive factor. And who walks
Folks,
out
we are
here
moving
tonight,
at lightning
ladies and
speed
gentlemen,
through these
with
attempts.
the belt
And make no mistake,
and
the
the
lifters, the
title
athletes, they'll be
Flash
feeling this.
champion
Many of
of
them will come from backgrounds where
2026.
events can last all day. We only kicked off here at 6 p.m. It's only 7:15 p.m. here in the evening now, and we're almost finished bench press. That's 2 disciplines down in under an hour and a half almost. So again, this is an incredible pace these guys are setting here.
I think this pace is going to play a big part in the outcome of this competition.
What they say, if young Metro don't trust you.
We're just under a minute out according to our countdown here. Carl Weedle will kick off our opener third attempt. So it's going to go in order of Carl Weedle, Justin Zottel, Nicholas Dupreez, John Hack, Oscar Zielkowski, Talas Satan, and Lukas Klugovic.
This will be the final bench presses of 2026. 242.5 in the ball for Germany.
Here we go, folks.
Carl Weedle.
I'm done apologizing. I am done being persecuted for my strength. You people should be thanking Christ that I am who and what I am because you need me. You need me to save you.
So close.
As I said, folks,
That's got to
they're going
sting.
to have to push these benches through the
Just a little bit of that lagging on the triceps there.
It's a shame because, most people would assume the toughest part of that lift is going to be just off that chest, and he is so close to the lockout.
Justin, the man who had the
He's still in a good place though to break the all-time world record on total.
It just leaves him 5 kilos off what he could have gained, so not necessarily a big risk, and probably the most he could have extended here today. So still in a strong position for both the podium and for his current goal of the under 125 world record in
The
sleeves.
bar is 245 kilograms on it. Justin wants to walk off.
So Justin Zottel is taking 245 kilos here. This is 2.5 kilos under his all-time best. But again, at these kinds of weights, those micro loads can be the difference maker.
Can he control this bar? Ladies and gentlemen of Dublin, can he press this back up and make it 3 for 3?
Very comfortable.
Standing. It looked like he had a few kilos to spare there as well.
It's a good left.
Like we talked about, I think because everyone had gone 2 for 2, potentially a safe third just to keep the kilos coming. Put himself in the best position for podium coming into deadlifts.
South Africa's Nicholas Dupreez.
Nicholas surprisingly has taken the match here on his current personal best. Only 5 kilos up from his 245 kilo second, which moved very easy. So likely playing it safe here. Probably doesn't feel the need to extend on the bench press.
He needs this bench.
This is a very important lift for Nicholas.
All the way from Joburg.
Nick.
250 kilos versus South Africa's Nicholas Dupreez.
So easy.
That looked good.
Very strong by Nicholas.
He's just gone all out
So
for the deadlift.
Nicholas is obviously in a very strong position as we approach deadlifts. My only concern for him now is undershooting that bench press potentially going to mean he's going to need to load something a little bit more for that deadlift. It's curious to see how we'll go later on.
He is one of the goats. It's an absolute honour to MC him. The final bench press of the day for America's John Hack. Would you be so kind, folks?
John Hack, 260 kilos, 572 pounds for his third and final attempt. If he nails this, he is 6 for 6 going into deadlifts. And it puts him in an extremely strong position for podium. Let's see if he can put it together.
Dublin Wrestling comes through love. Come on!
The crowd comes alive for John Hack. His reputation precedes him He is known for his legendary battle against Brett Gibbs at IPF Worlds many, many years ago. That's where he made his strong impression on Ab Series founder Jay Farron. Let's see if he has it. Oh, just a little bit too much today.
Yeah, I've watched John Haxler YouTube channel, which is very interesting. He's very open and transparent about everything he does. And he had a pec issue, it must have been about 4 weeks ago, that sort of niggled him a little bit.
It leaves him 10 kilos off where he could have been, but so still in a great position coming into the deadlifts later on. Might not be the biggest deal, because again, he sent it, so, you know, potentially 5 kilos is what he had when he went for the 10. Oscar Zielowski now jumps another 7.5 kilos from his second attempt. This is 262.5 kilograms, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a 2.5 kilo personal best according to his open powerlifting profile. Big Eamon Harford giving the lift offs here today, a Clash of Titans athlete in his own right. Oh, look at that staying power!
That's how a fucking should look, folks. Balls out.
2 to 1. He gets it.
Now that lift has made this competition very, very interesting. And you know he's going to be strong in the deadlift as well, coming from a strongman background.
Extremely impressive grind ability on that bench press. We've seen there a couple of times the lads hit that sticking point, they fight it for a second or two, and they kind of cooks them. Oscar has that staying power. That's obviously that condition he's carried through from the strongman.
And also, you bear in mind, this is his first appearance on an abs platform, and he's got every lift successful so far, which is very, very rare competing at abs.
Yeah, well, he's obviously used to that high pace, you know, strongman is all the different events. This guy's condition is going to be excellent. Now, Talas Tan, 270 kilograms, just shy of 600 pounds, in around that region. This is 10 kilos above his current personal best. Misses just near the top. So he locked in a 10 kilo personal best on his second attempt. That would have been a 20 kilo personal best from his last competition had he gotten it. So worth the gamble potentially, but we'll see where that leaves him before deadlifts commence. We're waiting to see the rest of the openers be lodged in here.
He's still 20 kilos above his subtotal in his last competition, so he's in a really good place.
Our heaviest bench press attempt here at Clash of Titans 4. Lukas Klukovic, 282.5 kilos.
Ladies and gentlemen, the bonus body for Lukas. 282.5. This will be the biggest bench press ever recorded in Irish soil of successful. 282.5 kilos, ladies and gentlemen. This is a humongous bench, one of the biggest of all time in Alps history. Can he get it? Unlucky.
You may notice there he's got his adductors taped, so that's potentially what the issue was in the squat.
Such a shame. The current title holder for the biggest bench press in abs history is Zach Myers with 280 kilos. So he would have chipped it there with 282.5. Would have been huge to see. But that wraps up a bench press here at Clash of Titans 4. So at the moment we have Oscar Zielowski, 6 for 6. The only athlete in the field currently 6 for 6. And also the biggest bench press and second biggest squat put up here. So he's looking extremely favourable coming into deadlifts.
He's in a very, very good position. He's got quite a decent sized lead as well. It'll be very interesting to see when they actually post their deadlift opening attempts to see where everyone stands on the first lift.
Folks, you can follow along with the attempt selection on Lifting Cast. If you look up at Clash of Titans 4, you'll see the same information we're looking at here. Many of the guys haven't actually entered their opening attempts just yet, just 3, and I think 2 of them are placeholders, if I'm completely honest. So they'll naturally need to get those in up until about 3 minutes out before the action commences. We're just under 25 minutes out. So we're going to be starting at about 10 to 8 p.m. So 7:50, you'll be back here on Lift Pass, but don't go too far. This is the time to get on Instagram, see how things are going, see all the action from the back and all the behind the scenes footage. You can like, you can share, you can post your own reactions to your own stories and tag at Powerlifting Series. Folks, Delroy McQueen and I won't be going anywhere. We're probably going to go to the toilet and come back. We're going to be looking over what it's going to take the W here. It's going to be very, very tight competition. I don't actually know, is anyone firmly in the lead here? We're looking at subtotals. They're not that far apart.
It's still a very close competition. I think it'll be a lot more telling when all the deadlift openers have been submitted.
Massive shout out as well to our event sponsor, Cerberus, providing all of our equipment and the barbells. Zone smelling salts, which are some of the most premier smelling salts in the business. They, for lack of a better word, blow the jocks off you. The Zero W equipment, powerlifting motivation, always on hand too, with all the apparel, many of it on sale upstairs. And not to mention a massive thank you to all of our spotters, loaders, all of our volunteers, our referees, and our capacity audience here, keeping our lit, keeping the action going, staying nice and loud for us here as we move our way through. Probably coming up on our 12th hour of powerlifting action here as we approach 8 p.m. Folks, we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in no time. So get your snacks, get your jacks done. If you don't live too far, get down to the Red Cow. You can catch the deadlifts. This is where the competition really starts. We'll be back momentarily. Ladies and gentlemen, you are very welcome back to Lift Pass. We are just 1 minute away from the deadlifts at Clash of Titans 4. This has been lightning speed in terms of competitions. These 7 athletes have been moving incredibly fast through each of the disciplines. We've been lifting for less than 2 hours and we're already here on the deadlift attempts. We're going to go in order of Lukas Bukovic, Justin Zottel, Tara Sitan, Nicholas Dupreez, Carl Weedle, John Hack and Oscar Zielkowski. You're listening to the voices of Iron Ian and Delroy McQueen. Delroy, Lukas opening at 225 kilos. Do you think this means something potentially went wrong on the squats and has cost him?
Yeah, I believe he picked up an injury on the squat. One of the spotters said when he was descending on the squat, actually heard something tear.
Wow. So just doing enough to lock in the total, gets a nice ovation from the audience, shaking the referee's hand. So I'd imagine he's done. He's happy enough. He's done enough to say I can walk away with a total. Knows he's out of the running for the podium, which is fair enough. We'll keep it rolling on here with Justin Zottel, 327.5 kilograms for Justin. Now this is far and away of his best ever deadlift. We're currently looking, his best ever is 382.5. So he's opened lighter in the past, but I'd imagine some of this is just to lock in a subtotal and jump from there. He's currently looking very, very strong.
327.5 in the bar here. Opening deadlift for Justin.
Very convincing opener there, Delroy. That's Justin Zottel. What do you reckon? Do you think he's in contention for number 1?
I think he'd probably take a fair sized jump. Probably like 25, maybe a 30 kilo jump to the second attempt to give him some sort of chance to try attempt to get on the podium.
From the man from Turkey.
He's taken a pretty significant jump. His second attempt is currently logged in at 360 kilograms. Tala Sitan out next, 365 kilos opener. That's absolutely massive, massive opener. His all-time best is 388 kilograms. So we're not light years off that here. He could be going for the mythical 400 pull.
He attempted 400 in Birmingham and he wasn't that far off it.
Don't often see sumo pullers in the Clash flight, so interested to see the Hulk grip sumo puller. So that's our first official 1,000 plus kilo total for Tala Sitan. 1,025 kilograms secured.
All the way from South Africa, Nicholas Dupreez.
Nicholas Dupreez out next.
Come on, Nicholas.
367.5 kilos for Nicholas Dupreez. Again, another ways to go before his all-time best, which is 395 kilos. He's opened lighter, he's opened heavier. A lot of it's strategic, so we'll see where this takes him and how fast this moves.
He
locks in the opener and our second official 1,000 plus kilo total, 1,017.5 kilo subtotal for Nicholas Dupreez. Did you catch there at the top where he tilted onto his toes very slightly?
Yeah, it looked like the weight shifted on his foot into his toes and sort of pulled him forward a little bit. That's something he's really going to have to correct on his next attempt, especially if he takes a big jump.
He's also jumping to 390 kilos, just like Tala Sitan. These guys look like they're going kilo for kilo. Right now, Tala's in the lead. He's just going to have to stay ahead of Nick. Carl Weedle now 370 kilos.
This should move relatively comfortable for Carl.
That was a fast.
Extremely comfortable. That puts him on 1,007.5 kilos. What was the record he needs to break? What's the number?
I believe the record's 1,060. So So he will need, is it 422.5 kilo deadlift?
That's a big ask today, but I'll give it to him if he goes for it. That would be 6 to see. Let's hope he sends it and tries for it today. John Hack's same weight stays on the bar.
Royalty, all the way from the United States of America, John Hack.
Very strong opener for John Hack and very in keeping with his deadlift style. I was having a chat with one of the veteran athletes just on the break there, and he mentioned a couple of things, one of which, interestingly, John Hack is apparently not a fan of the Cerberus deadlift bar after his last experience with it. So we'll see if that's going to haunt him here today.
John Hack's been training on the Cerberus deadlift bar, and about 3 weeks ago he pulled 410 on that bar in training.
Well, that's the question. Will 410 put him in a strong enough position for the podium here today? We're going to see as we keep things rolling here with our final opening attempt from Oskar Zielkowski. 375 kilos. This is only 5 kilos below his current registered max as far as I'm aware. Yes, indeed. Again, speaking to one of our veteran athletes on the break, he says Oskar is his current favorite to win.
Good work.
3 white lights for Oskar, so that puts him in the lead with a 1,052.5 kilo total. Delroy, how do you feel about that opener?
It was strong, but to me, they didn't look like he had a lot more left in him. I think he needs to take a smaller jump to try and increase his lead rather than take a big risk.
I was curious to see how his grip strength would hold him against his back strength. In strongman, they're allowed straps for a lot of events. Obviously, we don't allow that here in powerlifting.
Yeah, a lot of the time in strongman, they tend to use straps in a deadlift suit. You may notice there where his lockout just slowed up a little bit towards the top. So I think his main issue may be a hitch.
We're just about to get going on second attempts. We are given a couple of minutes break here to factor in. It's a small flight of lifting, and now we're down to 6 athletes as Lukas Klugovic is officially out of the competition, finishing on an 870 kilo total, which is absolutely nothing to sneeze at. That would win a lot of meets all over the world. Given that he only took 4 successful attempts here today, he's choosing to opt out of his final 2 deadlift attempts.
It's still a very, very close competition at the moment. There's not much in it.
Even just on the registered openers, we already have 4 1,000 kilo plus totals, with the other 2 athletes 7.5 kilos off that. And that's crazy to see. I remember back in the days of the series history where 1,000 kilos was a number many, many lifters were chasing to register at this platform. So to see so many of them here after the opening deadlifts is mind-numbing.
26. How long we got, Louis? 20 seconds.
Justin Zottel will now open us up for the second attempt, 360 kilos.
For his second deadlift. His 8th of 9 attempts here. We have
This is just shy of 800 pounds, about 7 pounds off 800. 360 kilos for Justin. He's getting a good whack of those zone smelling salts. He's locked in, he's ready. This guy looks like he could march straight through a brick wall.
He wants to take it home. The King of the North wants to take the title home to Canada.
Wow.
Very strong, convincing lift by Justin there.
Good luck. Good luck.
He's really not too far off his all-time best being 382.5 kilograms. Last time he was here at Abs, he only managed to put up 367.5 kilograms. So already looking like he's in an incredibly strong position ahead of his final attempts. Now, when we do get to the final attempts, that's where things will get interesting. I can see Justin has decided to put in 395 kilograms for his third and final attempt. However, Athletes can change their third deadlift attempt twice before the bar is loaded. So we can start to see the mind games come in when we get to those third attempts. Oscar Zielowski is out now in very quick turnaround. He's opted to only jump 10 kilos to 385 kilos, which will be a 5 kilo personal best. And you will see this where the lifting order changes depending on your attempt selection. So because he took a smaller jump, he's actually back out again quite soon. So potentially opening a little bit too heavy, but we'll see how this moves. I think he's going to get stung on a bit of downward movement there. Yeah, 3 red lights from our referees with downward movement. Do you think he's cost himself on that quick turnaround between the very heavy opener and the smaller jump?
I believe he's cost himself, but a lot of it depends on like the way he trains. Like strongmen tend to hitch quite a lot. Once you got a hitch ingrained in you, it's very, very difficult to turn it the other way to actually like transfer to powerlifting. I think that failed lift has opened the door for a lot of the other contenders. I think you'll probably find once they've seen that lift, I think their heart rates are going to go up, your adrenaline's going to raise, and it's going to bring a big deadlift out of the other contenders.
Our next lifter is Nicholas Dupree's 390 kilograms. I believe 5 kilos. Yes, 5 kilos off his all-time best, which he did at the Abs Pro last August. Abs Pro is contended on a power bar, which is stiffer, it's shorter. So this bar should play to his favor if he can get all the slack out of the middle. It's longer, it bends more. So 390 kilograms for Nicholas Dupree's. Okay.
Nicholas means business with that lift. With that failed attempt on the previous lift, the door's wide open for Nicholas now, so I think he's going to put whatever it takes on the bar to win.
It's never ever been a question of strength on the deadlift with Nicholas. It's every previous time we've seen him where he's missed that last deadlift and cost himself the podium. It's been an issue with grip. So we're going to see what they choose to do here between himself and his head coach, Jay Farrant. The Talasitan is our next, same weight stays on the bar. This guy's in contention for number 1 as well. 390 kilograms for the only sumo puller in the field. This is a 2 kilo personal best.
Wants the title, he wants the belt. 390 on the bar.
Looks like the weight just pulled him forwards at the top.
He had the same problem at the Birmingham NEC. He's still capable of doing this. He just needs to get more speed off the floor and sort of ride it through the sticking point.
Of the Clash of Titans title.
So we're really starting to see why deadlifts are the most anticipated part of the competition. The competition's face has shifted and changed all throughout today, and this is where we're really going to see the difference makers. We've 2 more second attempts to go. John Hack, 392.5 kilograms. This is a monstrous weight for a man, again, the smallest lifter in the flight. Now, I know I keep saying that, but John Hack is jacked. He's a big guy. In any other setting, he'd be one of the most muscular, biggest guys in the field. It just so happens he's lifting against literal titans here. But he's keeping up with them. He's going toe-to-toe and kilo to kilo with some of the biggest, strongest lifters in the world here.
That was a very good lift from John Hack. In my opinion, that actually looked better than his opening deadlift.
It's just like John Hack goes up another gear when he gets to this stage of the game. He's now on 393.5 kilo deadlift succeeded. That's a 1,015 kilo total, and he's put in for 402.5 kilos. Third attempt. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get on the podium, but it would still finish him on a 10.25 total if that's what he chooses to go for. But again, after this is where we'll see the mind games come in.
I think we're going to see a change in weight from John Hack. I'm going to think he's going to increase the weight to something that could potentially put him on the podium.
395 kilos here for Carl Wheeler, 25 kilo jump from his opening attempt. He went from being one of the first ones out to one of the last ones out here.
395 kilos versus the German machine, Carl Wheeler.
Wow.
That was an incredible lift by Carl. I think he should roll the dice on the
He
last
has to
attempt.
go for it. He has
Something
to,
big.
yeah. That puts him on a 1032.5 kilo total. So all the lifters currently still in the field, all 6 are sitting over 1,000 kilos after the end of those second attempts. We're going to get rolling on our third and final attempts, and this is where the podium takes shape. This is where everything changes. This is where, you know, a success or a missed lift could change a third attempt. It could change a strategy, and we could see a completely unexpected winner. We could see unexpected seconds and thirds. What do you reckon as we look across the field right now, Delroy? Who's your money on if you're a betting man?
I think Nicholas Dupree, depending on what happens on this lift. Nicholas in a very strong position. I've never seen him look better on the deadlift than that previous attempt.
It would be quite the story if Nicholas went on a streak of taking the W after so many times finishing second. He won at Abs Pro last year. Can he take his second title? Could he potentially be the first ever Abs Series Triple Crown winner and also claim the Rumble title? We'll know after the next few moments, where we'll see our third and final attempts on the deadlift here at Clash of Titans 4. Our athletes are being given a moment to compose themselves and get ready. The lifters are going to be making their way down the middle aisle through the audience, which has become customary here at the series, to present these athletes in the most prestigious way possible.
Nicholas and Justin are separated by 10 kilos, and fourth place is separated by 2 kilos less. 12.5 kilos separates 4 men from the title. It's never been closer. It has never been more fiercely contested. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the grand finale. Raise the fucking roof 6 times. First up, we have
Here
Oscar.
we go.
4 men can still win this title, folks.
Oscar Sielowski retaking 385 kilos, his first ever appearance at the Abs Series here, Clash of Titans 4. And what an incredible showing from this man.
This is a crucial lift to this competition. It's going to dictate what everyone changes their next attempts to.
Clash of the Titan champion as the belt.
Come on, Oscar.
Let's find out.
Oh,
No.
not today. He finishes out the competition on a 1,052 kilo total, which I believe is still an all-time best from so that beats his all-time best of 1040, which he set previously. So he can walk away today happy. He still finishes in an incredibly strong position. And look, I mean, he could still take it if everyone else misses.
In fact, this has been, from him, it's a very impressive Abs debut. And I think this is one of the guys you're going to see a lot of in the future.
One deadlift to do so.
Incredible showing there from Oscar Sielowski. He finishes on 1052.5, but where does that change the game plans further on? Keep an eye on Lifting Cast / Clash of Titans 4, and you'll see how these attempts change again. Third attempt deadlifts can be changed twice. Justin Zottel now, 387.5 kilos.
This will take Justin from 5th place into 1st place.
This man wants the title to go home to Canada. It's in his own hands as he pulls this deadlift. Justin will decide if he's
This will be a 5 kilo personal best, but also put him in contention for the title. Let's go, Justin. Full send, full throttle.
Incredible heart.
No. So close.
Just made it to the top. Just at the very, very top.
He gave that lift absolutely everything.
And still get one hand.
Do you know
on
what?
the belt.
Big, massive fan of Justin Zontal's lifting. He had an amazing debut at last year's Clash of Titans and an incredibly impressive showing here. I'd love to see him come back. I think he's a future champion. I'll say it right now. I think that guy's a future champion.
He's got to
I
watch
think a lot of
these
guys in this
next
lineup are
5
potential
deadlifts,
future champions.
knowing
This competition could, anyway, if you run all these athletes in the same lineup for 5 competitions in a row, I'm sure every competition will have a different winner.
3 men who have all
So many
chosen
micro
their
factors come into
deadlifts
play, not only in the weeks and months leading up, but on the day. The conditions that these athletes are dealing with are unseen anywhere else in any other powerlifting platform. The pace we've set here, we're just at 2 hours and 10 minminutes of lifting, and we only have 4 lifts left.
Number 1 powerlifter.
An incredible pace.
For
Talasitan retaking the 390 kilo deadlift. He was so close to the lockout for the Turkish giant.
The number 1 Turkey has sent the best ever powerlifter to take home the title.
Come on.
Of Clash of the Titans. The bar is in his hands.
If he can get that speed off the floor just to take it through that sticking point.
390.
Come on! So close!
No!
Ah,
Another one kill.
you hate to see it, but that's how important this is to these men. This is history. Unlike powerlifting competitions all over the world where there's a medal for this, a medal for that, a podium for this, a podium for that, there's only ever one Clash of Titans champion per year. There's only one title to take away. Second and third place on the podium, you may as well still be last. It's prestigious, but you're only going to walk away with one champion, one title. Who will claim it this year? We have 3 attempts to go.
All the way from South Africa, he's been the bridesmaid twice. Would you like to see Nicholas Dupreez take home the title and become the 2-belt champion? Dublin, raise the roof for the one, the only South Africa's Nicholas Dupreez.
So 402.5 kilos on the bar.
Raise the roof.
The South African flag on his shoulders like a cape. He is a hero to many here in the world of powerlifting. He's a celebrity in his home country. Can he claim his second Ab Series title?
And his own hands. 402.5.
Come on!
Incredible.
We have 2 attempts to go. Nicholas Dupreez is currently sitting in first.
2 lifts to go, sorry.
That was a sensational lift, especially after what happened to Nicholas last year, being in this same position to win the competition.
I love it, man. Such a great guy, such a massive fan of Nicholas. He's become part of the heart and soul of the series, just like athletes before him, Luke Tolman, Dave Richardson, Jake Brennan, Eamon Harford, Jesse Moore. Nicholas Dupreez is firmly up there of his importance and his commitment and becoming the face of the series. This could potentially be his second championship title with 2 attempts to go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
John Hack keeps 402.5 kilos on the bar. It won't get him on the podium today, but what a day it would be for John Hack.
This is over 4 times body weight.
Come on! Oh. What a commendable effort from John Hack. He finishes out today on a 1,015 kilo total. Doesn't match his best, but an incredible improvement on his showing last year. He finished out on 990 kilos last year, so really came and showed up. 25 kilos added to his Clash of Titans total. Hopefully not the last time we see him here in Ireland.
And Nicholas have the exact same total.
Now this is interesting. The dark horse, Carl Weedle, he's choosing to not go for the under 125 sleeve total, but he's taking a shot for the belt.
Carl is more than capable of this lift. I think the only limiting factor potentially on this lift could be grip. I know he's worked really hard on that training.
What a Cinderella story if he can claim this. He came into the meet with not too many people talking about his potential to win. Imagine he takes the victory having squatted all his attempts in sleeves.
It just shows the amazing athlete Carl actually is.
Ladies and gentlemen, the final lift of the tournament.
This could be history in the making. Do not click off the stream. Do not close your eyes. Do not blink. Can he take it?
He's just sent someone to go and get his belt. He seemed to walk on the platform without it.
It's all good. He has all the time he needs. We wouldn't do anything silly like time him out at a time like this. This is history. These guys have been going at breakneck speed all day. This is our final attempt. Clash of Titans 4. Carl Weedle versus 415 kilos.
One thing I love about the clash, it always comes down to the last deadlift. Unbelievable.
Ladies and gentlemen, going into the final deadlift, it was Nicholas the Beast. It was Nicholas. What a finale! We had a two-way tie for the title, and this man,
What a moment!
Germany, has won the competition on the final pull after forgetting his belt. How you feeling? Let's just give him a wee second. Ladies and gentlemen, before I interview him, can I just say that was the greatest powerlifting comp I've ever been part of. Clash of the Titans 4 was incredible. 7 incredible world-class powerlifters. Can give them all a round of applause. They were incredible today. Now, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you couldn't work out what was happening there, don't worry, come up and give them love. Oscar was winning the competition right up until the last second, and Nicholas pulled the exact weight to tie with him. So we had a two-way tie, which meant Nicholas won on body weight. That's how close it was. And we thought Nicholas was going to steal this. And then Carol came out at the very last second and pulled one of the biggest deadlifts in abs history. And ladies and gentlemen, he is now Clash of the Titans 4 champion. He's taking the belt back to Germany. So, Carol, congratulations. It was an absolute pleasure to watch you. You picked your weights to perfection. Where's your coach? This man is fantastic as well. I witnessed him win in abs in Glasgow in my competition. You picked your weights to perfection. You've done incredible. How are you feeling about being the Clash of the Titans champion?
Honestly, yeah, I didn't expect this to happen at all. Since the circumstances for me weren't the best, but I don't want to make an excuse out of it. So I didn't really expect it to win that. I missed my third on bench, so yeah, not even a PR there. Just my grip was feeling kind of iffy, so it's just still settling. I didn't realize that.
So the gods were behind you today. You were blessed today. Your hands stayed closed. Do you feel can you come back? I don't know if this is on the plan, but can you come back and make it 2 for 2 and win the abs title in August? I think it is August, yeah. Can you come back and win the abs title, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. If this keeps going at this rate of progress, I should fight at 100 by then, so for sure.
Wow. Can I just say, I don't want to take anything away from your win, but I think you should go over and pat Nicholas on the back because you stole his title off him and he's now 3 times runner-up. So, but anyway, we're not here to talk about runners-up, we're here to talk about champions. Ladies and gentlemen, can I just say thank you so much for sticking around on Valentine's night of all nights. Sticking around, showing these incredible powerlifters amazing support that they're never going to forget, and they're all going to fly back to their respective countries, telling everyone how good the crowd in Dublin are, how good ABS was, and how amazing this competition was to be part of. But for one last time, if you don't mind, powerlifting fans, people of Dublin, can you raise the roof for the new champion, Carl?
What a competition. We have seen history made. Carl Weedle claims the Clash of Titans 4 title championship. Completely unexpected. The dark horse of the competition. I definitely was paying attention to him on the lead up. I thought he had a chance, but when I saw he was opting to do it in sleeves, I didn't know if he could do it, but history's been made, Darrow.
Did you ever think you would see someone win the Clash wearing sleeves?
Not only did I never think I'd see it, I never thought I could see it in a lineup where everyone finished over 1,000 kilos by the third pulls. It's a ludicrous level of powerlifting. Jay Farrand here with a quick word.
Okay, come back to me then. Next year, 12 months later, he hits 1,000 kilo in sleeves, he gets invited. This time he's the winner. Train hard, anything can happen. I want to thank everyone who attended today and made this event. The 7 Titans who actually turned up, they were all battered and bruised. Some people literally couldn't walk to this competition. As you've seen, some people got very injured today. So thanks to the Titans, thanks to all the spotters and loaders, the crew, all the volunteers. I know I'm the good looking face behind the series, but there's about 20, 30, 40 people behind me who make this what it is. So I'll leave it on that because I don't want to get too mushy on Valentine's Day. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next year.